I want to ask you about a specific incident related to interagency rivalries. Michael Scheuer, who was at the CIA running the bin Laden desk, the ALEC operation named after his son, he reported that at one point he was able to identify the location of a satellite phone that was used to communicate with Osama bin Laden. And it was traced, and Jim Bamford has written about this, it was traced to a safe house in Sana'a, Yemen. And so Scheuer made a request of the NSA, first for a full transcript of intercepts from that satellite phone. And then when he was rebuffed, he was able to get one link of it, either the uplink or the downlink, one side of the conversation. And he said, well, I took that to the NSA and said, well, look, I've already got half of it. Can you just cough up the other half? And he said that they turned him down. Number one, are you able to confirm that? And number two, are there other significant cases of this kind of interagency squabbling that left us, either undefended or just unable to pursue the clear missions assigned?
I'll answer it this way. I live with the dirty knowledge of what could have been, and what could have been is that 9/11 could have been prevented by virtue of what NSA alone knew, should have known, didn't share, or could have known. It's one of the deep, dark chapters in the post-9/11 and pre-9/11 history that is yet to be fully written. The extent to which NSA is culpable, and also went into a major cover-up. One of the things that Hayden was quite proud of, and I remember in the executive session, is that he was more than willing to have the FBI and the CIA take the heat while NSA remained in the shadows, away from the prying eyes of the investigators. The NSA did all it could to obstruct the investigations, several investigations. For me, I had the certain knowledge. You spoke of one incident. There's any number of other incidents in terms of pre-9/11 intelligence that was either never shared with national command authorities, to say it that way, or those responsible for, in terms of receiving actual intelligence, indications, warning intelligence, and then doing something with it. NSA bureaucratically had this thing that only they owned it. Whatever they took, they owned, and they didn't trust anybody with, if they gave it to somebody, they didn't know what they would do with it. So they tended to hoard it, and hoarding meant that no one else could see it. So they're very reluctant to share critical intelligence. And I ended up not only as a whistleblower, but a material witness on two 9/11 congressional investigations in early 2002, and then the joint inquiry that involved both the Senate and the House, the prelude to the 9/11 Commission. I gave them prima facie evidence of what NSA had failed to share, including critical actual intelligence regarding Al-Qaeda and associated movements that could have easily rolled up that entire network. All of that was reported to the investigators, and I will tell you that all that information was censored. It was hidden behind state secrets. It was never made part of the final report. Now you tell me.
I appreciate the way you answered my question, and let me just push one more time. Is Scheuer's story accurate?
Yeah, it's fair to say that Scheuer's story is accurate. That's just one of any number of cases in which critical intelligence. There was an interesting meeting I remember with Hayden where the demands were quite strong for NSA to share raw intelligence because there was so much information coming in. I remember they didn't have the benefit of thin thread. What I didn't tell you is that we actually took thin thread. We had a couple $1 million. I was able to wrestle out of Marine Baginski. They would not let thin thread go on to the operational system, out there to do real intelligence. So we said, okay, fine, let's take a look at the database, the main database at NSA. We found critical actual intelligence pre-9/11 and post-9/11 that had never been discovered at all. They shut it down. That was the last that you ever heard of thin thread.